9 signs. Your child might be doing drugs. I know you love your child. You have watched them grow from a tiny infant into the person they are today. You have celebrated their first steps, their first words, their first day of school. You have worried over their fevers, stayed up late when they were sick, prayed for their safety every time they left the house. Your love for them is the deepest thing you know. But somewhere along the way, something may have changed. The child who once told you everything now seems distant. The laughter that filled your home has grown quiet. And in your heart, you feel a growing fear. A fear that whispers things you do not want to hear. You push the thoughts away. You tell yourself it is just a phase. You hope it will pass. But hoping is not protecting. And when it comes to drugs, the stakes are too high to look away. Every day, young people lose their lives to substance abuse, not because their parents did not love them, but because their parents did not recognize the signs in time. Today, I want to walk you through 9 signs that your child might be doing drugs, not to make you paranoid, but to help you see clearly. Because when you see clearly, you can act, and your action could save your child's life. 1. Drastic changes in mood and personality. One of the earliest and most noticeable signs is a sudden shift in your child's mood and personality. The child who was once cheerful, engaged, and easygoing becomes irritable, aggressive, or withdrawn. Small things that never bothered them before now trigger explosive anger. They seem to be living in a different emotional world, one you cannot reach. You might notice extreme mood swings. One moment they are laughing, the next they are yelling. One moment they seem calm, the next they are anxious and paranoid. They may seem emotionally flat, as if the light behind their eyes has dimmed. They may lose interest in things they once loved: sports, hobbies, music, friends. Of course, teenagers experience mood swings, hormones change, life gets complicated. But when the changes are drastic, when your child seems like a different person, you need to pay attention. Drugs change the chemistry of the brain. They alter personality. And if you are watching your child disappear behind a wall of anger or emptiness, drugs may be the reason. 2. Changing friends and withdrawing from family. Pay attention to your child's friends. Have they suddenly dropped old friends who were good influences? Have they started hanging out with a new group, one you do not know, one that seems secretive, one that avoids meeting you? Do they refuse to introduce these new friends to you? Do they become defensive when you ask? At the same time, you may notice them pulling away from family. They no longer want to join family dinners. They stay in their room for hours, door locked. When you try to talk to them, they shut down or lash out. The connection you once had, the conversations, the laughter, the closeness, has been replaced by silence and distance. Drug use often brings a new social circle, one centered around the substance. And because secrecy is essential to continued use, your child will distance themselves from anyone who might notice what is happening. If your child is pulling away from everyone who loves them and running toward people you do not know, do not ignore it. 3. Declining grades and loss of interest in school education is one of the first things to suffer when drugs enter a young person's life. You may notice a sudden drop in grades. Your child who once cared about their schoolwork now seems indifferent. Homework goes undone. Teachers reach out with concerns. They may skip classes, arrive late, or leave early. They may even drop out of activities they once loved: sports, music, clubs. This loss of interest is not laziness. It is the drug taking over. When a young person is using substances, their priorities shift. The drug becomes the focus. Everything else, school, responsibilities, future plans, fades into the background. What mattered to them before no longer matters. And that loss of care for their own future is one of the most heartbreaking signs to witness. If your child's academic performance has plummeted and they no longer seem to care about the goals they once had, do not dismiss it as teenage rebellion. Something deeper may be happening. 4. Physical changes. You cannot explain. Drugs affect the body, and those effects are often visible. You may notice bloodshot eyes or pupils that are unusually large or unusually small. Frequent nosebleeds, which can be a sign of snorting drugs. Sudden weight loss or weight gain. Changes in sleep patterns, sleeping all day or staying awake all night. Poor hygiene, unkempt appearance, a sudden lack of care for how they look. You might also notice track marks on their arms, small puncture wounds that they try to hide with long sleeves, even in hot weather. You might find burns on their fingers or lips. You might smell something unusual on their clothes, in their room, or on their breath: marijuana, chemical odors, or the smell of smoke they try to cover with perfume or cologne. If your child is hiding their body, wearing long sleeves in summer, avoiding physical contact, or showing physical changes that have no medical explanation, do not let them brush it off. These are signs your child is trying to hide something, and what they are hiding could be killing them. 5. Secrecy and lying about their whereabouts. Does your child suddenly have a lot of secrets? Do they become defensive when you ask where they have been? Do their explanations not add up? They said they were at a friend's house, but when you call, the friend's parents have not seen them. They said they were studying, but you find out they left school hours ago. They tell you one thing, and you discover the truth is something else entirely. Secrecy is the currency of addiction. A young person using drugs will lie to protect their ability to keep using. They will tell you what they think you want to hear. They will manipulate. They will hide. And over time, you may find yourself doubting everything they say, not because you do not trust them, but because they have given you so many reasons not to. If your child is consistently lying about where they are, who they are with, and what they are doing, do not let it slide. Trust is important, but protecting your child's life is more important. You have the right to know the truth. 6. Missing money or valuables. Drugs are expensive, and when a young person is using, they will find money however they can. You may notice cash missing from your wallet, valuables disappearing from your home, jewelry, electronics, anything that can be sold. Your child may ask for money constantly with excuses that do not hold up. They may sell their own belongings, their phone, their gaming system, their clothes, things they once treasured. This is one of the most painful signs to face because it feels like betrayal, and it is. Addiction changes a person. It makes them do things they would never do otherwise. Taking from family, stealing from loved ones. These are not choices your child would make if they were not being controlled by something stronger than themselves. If money or valuables are disappearing in your home and your child is the only explanation, do not ignore it. This is not a moral failing. This is a cry for help. 7. Finding paraphernalia or substances. There may come a day when you find something in your child's room, in their bag, or in their car that you were never meant to see. A pipe, a rolled-up dollar bill, small plastic bags, syringes, lighters in unusual places, burned aluminum foil, prescription bottles that are not prescribed to them, or the substances themselves, marijuana, pills, powders, or other drugs. When you find these things, your heart will stop, your mind will race, and your instinct may be to explode, to confront, to scream, to demand answers. I understand that instinct, but I want to tell you something important. What you do in that moment matters. Your reaction can either open a door or close it forever. If you find evidence of drug use, stay as calm as you can. Confront with love, not rage. Let your child know that you found it. Tell them you are not angry, you are scared, and make it clear that what you want most is for them to be safe. This is the moment to get help. 8. Extreme defensiveness. When you ask questions, watch how your child reacts when you ask simple questions. How was school? Where are you going? Who will you be with? If your child is using drugs, these ordinary questions may be met with extreme defensiveness. They accuse you of not trusting them. They flip the script and make you feel like the one who is wrong. They explode in anger to shut down the conversation. This defensiveness is a smokescreen. It is designed to make you back off, to stop asking, to let them keep their secrets. And if you are like most parents, it works. You do not want to fight. You do not want to push them away, so you stop asking. And the distance between you grows. Do not let their anger silence you. Your questions are not an attack. They are an expression of love. A child who has nothing to hide does not react with rage to a simple question. If your child becomes hostile every time you ask about their life, something is wrong. 9. You feel something is wrong. This is the most important sign, and it is the one that lives inside you. You know your child. You have known them since before they could speak. You have watched them grow. You have seen their joy. You have felt their pain. And somewhere deep in your heart, you know when something is wrong. Maybe you cannot name it. Maybe you have no proof. Maybe you tell yourself you are just worrying too much, just being a paranoid parent. But the feeling does not go away. It sits in your chest, a weight that will not lift. You see your child, and you do not see the child you raised. You see someone else, and you are afraid. Listen to that feeling. It is not paranoia. It is not overprotectiveness. It is the voice of a parent who loves their child and who knows, in the deepest part of them, that something is not right. Do not silence that voice. Let it move you to act. Ask the questions. Look for the signs. Reach out for help. Because if you are wrong, you have lost nothing but a little worry. But if you are right, your action could save your child's life. Closing thoughts. I share these signs not to frighten you, but to wake you up. Parenting is the hardest job in the world. You give everything you have, and still you wonder if it is enough. You love with your whole heart, and still you fear that love will not be enough to protect them. But here is what I want you to know. Your love is powerful. Your attention is powerful. Your willingness to see clearly, to ask hard questions, to seek help, that is what saves lives. Addiction does not care about your child's dreams. It does not care about their future. It will take everything, including their life, if it is not stopped. You are not a bad parent if your child is using drugs. You are not a failure. You are facing something that destroys families every day, and you are fighting for your child. That is what love looks like. Not perfection, but persistence. Not never making mistakes, but never giving up. If you are seeing these signs, do not wait. Do not hope it will go away on its own. Reach out to a counselor, a doctor, a support group, a treatment center. You do not have to do this alone. There are people who can help you and your child find a way through. If you made it to the end, write in your heart, "I will not give up on my child." And if this message reached you, share it with another parent who may need to see it. You never know whose child you might help save. Let us all grow wiser, and let us all protect the children we love. Thank you for listening, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share the video. Be wiser.